we are going to talk about Python editor. Specifically, we're going to focus on IDE. So what is IDE? IDE means Integrated Development Environment. Um, it provides the users to ability to code and run easily. And there are many IDEs available out in the market and in the open source. PyCharm is one of the IDE and very popular IDE. So we're going to take a look at how to get the PyCharm IDE, and we're going to do a sample program. Let's call it as a first hello world program. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing you have to do is open a browser and go to this URL, jetbrains.com/PyCharm. So once you go to this URL, you will land on this page where by default the JetBrains provides the link to download the professional version. But if you're a student and learning, then we don't have to need to go with the professional version. We can go with the community edition, which is available for free. Okay, so to get the community edition, click on the download, and from the download page, scroll all the way down, because the professional edition is you had to pay fees for that. And if you're just learning, community edition is good. So scroll down and you will find community edition at the bottom, and then you can choose the download for your appropriate environment. If you're using a Mac, then it'll be DMG. If you're using a different platform, then appropriately the download link will show up. Okay, so click this button to download the binary, and just install the binary depending on the platform. All right, so once the download and installation is done, next start the PyCharm. In case of Windows, it should be executable. In case of a Mac, you can just launch it from the applications. And let's look at how it's going to look like as a next step. All right, I just launched the PyCharm. And when you launch for the first time, usually this is the screen that you get. Here, it's asking what should be the new project. So by default, it comes with a name. You can simply take that name. So this is the default project in which all your Python coding and the files will be stored. So let's launch this. All right. So what you're seeing is the PyCharm editor, and usually there are three panes. On the left side is the navigation pane where you can find the name of the file, Python files, and environment and the library information. The right side is where you actually type the Python code, and you can drag in this pane to adjust the width you need. And then whenever you run the Python code, you will get to see the third pane on the bottom, which is the output console. Okay, so now let's go step by step. So what you're seeing is by default with the installation, you have one sample file, main.py. All Python files have extension .py, and this is comes with a project as a default, and that's the file. So whenever you want to open the Python file, you double click, it opens in this window. And on the top right, you see the configuration that's used to run the Python file. By default, it's showing there is a default configuration, and it's pointing to the main.py. And when you click this button, it says run main, and that's the output you see on the bottom pane. Okay, so there's a lot of syntax over here. I think for us, we can try with a very simple Python file, and we can work our way. Okay, so what you have to do is, first step is, whenever you want to create a Python, you click on this project, right click, you have to say new file. So here there's a Python file. You can simply choose this, it's more convenient. Just give the name like hello world and choose the Python file and enter. So now you see this hello world.py and it's empty. So you can start writing the code. So in Python, if you want to comment for a single line, you use the hashtag. You can say this is my first Python program. Enter. Okay. And then if you want to print a statement in Python, you have to use print. And then you can provide the values. In this case, it's going to be string hello world. Okay. So why do we use an IDE? Why can't we type the Python from a simple notes file and find a way to run? Yes, you could do it, but having IDE is very convenient because it's the one place where you have the ability to write the code, and when you write the code, it will do the color code automatically. Like you see, this print is a reserved keyword. It shows a different color. It shows the parenthesis when it starts, when it ends. If there are any errors, it will flag, like example, or even for warnings, it's going to flag. You can look at the warning easily. And also, it's very simple to debug. And it really helps you to, you don't need to remember every library methods. It gives the clue as you type the code. Okay, so now let's try to find out what is this warning. So the warning says there's no new line. Okay, I think it's complaining that I have to enter. Okay, so now the warning should disappear. Now let's try to run. So to run, I had to click this button. Okay, so I clicked the button, but what you see is hi PyCharm. I was expecting hello world, but this is what I see. On purpose, I let it run as it is, because for first-time users, they should be aware about this possible situation. So the reason what you're seeing here is actually it's running main.py instead of hello world.py. So if you want to run the hello world, you can configure it that way, or you can simply choose run the current file that your mouse and cursor on the window is focused on. So in this case, it's hello world.py. Now click run. All right, there you go. You see hello world. And this is this first Python simple program. Python is very, very simple to use. It's very intuitive. It's not that complex. And when you click the button, what happens is really Python comes with the interpreter. So it scans the entire file. I mean, it goes actually by line by line. It runs each line by interpreting it. In this first line is it's a comment, so it will ignore that. The next line is a print statement. It checks for the syntax, and as long as the syntax is good, no complaints, then it will execute that statement, and you will find the output shown here in this run output window. All right, that's the first hello world program. You can try too.